The Indian Navy's long delayed submarine modernization plan is once again caught between ambition and uncertainty. Even as German shipbuilder TKMS has begun firming up Indian tie-ups after winning the bid for the 6 next-generation submarines under Project 75 India, an equally critical proposal for 3 additional Scorpenes remained stalled. On Wednesday, TKMS signed an MOU with Hyderabad-based VEM Technologies for weapons technology and is also in talks with Mumbai-based CFF Fluid Control, another company which is into defense sector. The agreement comes months after TKMS partnering state-run Mazagon Dock Shipbuilders, that is MDL, backed the P-75 India project. However, cost negotiations are still to begin. A high-powered panel had cleared the P-75 for negotiations only in late August after addressing objections raised by Larsen & Toubro, that is L&T, which had tied up with Spain's Navantia and was the second bidder. The strategic partnership model under which the project is being executed was meant to break the monopoly of state-run yards by bringing in private players into submarine building. But with only L&T qualifying in the private sector, the Navy roped in MDL as well for the P-75 India. TKMS, initially in talks with L&T, ultimately switched sides to MDL, sensing a possible single vendor situation. It is also learned that the another fear was the possibility of the South Korean experience, where TKMS tied up with private firm Daewoo Shipbuilders for their submarine program, and within years the South Korean company became a competitor. While the Navy is hopeful, insiders say the road ahead will be anything but smooth. The new TKMS submarines will be built on an entirely new design, not based on its proven Type 212-214 platforms. Unlike the rounded hulls of the conventional boats, the new design will feature angular lines for a reduced sonar signature. TKMS CEO Khalil Rahman had told reporters in July last year. This meant that the submarine design would not be as mature as the ones already built by TKMS, even if inspired from the existing design. According to the request for proposal, that is the RFP, the first submarine must be delivered 7 years after contract signing with 45% indigenous content, followed by one each year until the program reaches 60% localization. This meant that even if a contract is signed tomorrow, the first submarine would be delivered only in 2032, and that too if there is no delay. Sources in the defense establishment fear that the technical consultations and design verification could take time. While TKMS is seen as a reliable partner, the sources remain skeptical of the MDL claim of delivering the first submarine within 7 years of signing the contract. Now you would wonder why, and we'll come to that later. The Navy is hopeful of signing the contract by the end of next year, meaning the first delivery only around 2034 if all goes as per the plan. The Scorpene project, jointly executed by the MDL and the Naval Group, was much delayed. The delivery of the last 6 Scorpene submarine was to be completed in 2017, but the first was delivered that year, leading to not just delays but higher cost run-ups as well. Even though the deliveries are complete, the 6 submarines lack the air-independent propulsion system and the heavyweight torpedoes as originally planned. Remember that the 5th and the 6th Scorpenes were supposed to come with AIP technology. Another hurdle in the P-75 India project is likely to be the cost factor. When the project received the Fresh Acceptance of Necessity, that is AON, in 2018, the project was benchmarked at Rs 43,000 crore. ThePrint has learned that the MDL and TKMS bid crosses Rs 1.1 lakh crore, with GST pushing it even higher. It is understood that the Germans have already been sounded to pare the costs down, with the Navy hoping to finalize a deal in the Rs 60,000 to 70,000 crore range. Sources in the know said that the defense and security establishment had also toyed with the idea of MDL being asked to sublet 2 submarines to L&T or expanding the order to 9 at a later stage. However, it is learned that no such plan has moved forward. Complicating matters is the uncertain fate of a separate proposal to order 3 additional Scorpene class submarines intended as a cushion against the P-75 India delay. Although cost talks with the MDL and French partner naval group were completed last year, the contract remains unsigned. The high-powered panel that had looked into the submarine program has neither formally cancelled the plan or decided to push it forward. The Navy blames the MDL and the naval group for the current state. It was on 11th August 2023 that the MDL was approached for the procurement of 3 conventional Scorpene class submarines under a repeat order of Project 75. The agreement was to be signed with a delivery schedule of 72 months per submarine. The Navy had hoped for a quick contract signing amid mounting challenges in the underwater domain, which are set to grow with continued submarine modernization by Pakistan and China. The additional Scorpene file was processed under the Buy Indian category as per the DAP 2020, which mandates a minimum of 60% indigenization. The French were pushing for this project too. However, the Navy was taken aback when the MDL initially submitted a bid exceeding Rs 70,000 crore for 3 additional Scorpenes, which are slightly bigger than the earlier 6 and will be similar to what the Brazilian Navy has. The bid was sent back by the Navy and a fresh one submitted by the MDL costing about Rs 52,000 crore. This was further brought down to about 36,000 crore post GST as first reported by ThePrint in February. Sources said that had MDL and the naval group bid the right price from the beginning only, the contract would have been signed by now. Yet the file has been left hanging with neither approval nor cancellation from the government. With P-75 India still years away and the follow-on Scorpene stuck, India's long-promised 30-year submarine plan remains behind schedule. Senior officers privately argue that while P-75 is critical, an immediate Scorpene contract is essential to plug the capability gaps. But they also express doubts on MDL's capability to carry on with 2 projects. For now, Navy's undersea fleet, once envisaged as a formidable arm, continues to be shaped less by strategy and more by delays, price wrangles, and tug-of-war between the public sector yards, private industry, and foreign partners. Navy Chief Admiral Dinesh K. Tripathi had last December expressed hope of the additional Scorpene deal being inked the following month, that is January this year. He had also explained that the 30-year-old submarine building program has been tweaked and approved. According to the plan fixed in 1999, India was to induct 24 conventional submarines by 2030. However, only 6 Scorpene submarines have been inducted so far. The experience from P-75 India program was to be used in Project 76, under which 12 totally indigenous submarines were to be built. Under the Modi government, the late Defence Minister Manohar Parrikar had decided to convert 6 of the 12 submarines into nuclear attack submarines that will remain with the Indian Navy and will be part of the naval budget. While India has a separate program for the nuclear ballistic missile submarines, that is SSBNs, their funding is through a separate system and they operate under the Strategic Forces Command, that is the SFC. Giving details of the 6 SSNs, Admiral Tripathi had said that the CCS has given approval for 2 nuclear attack submarines. And I quote him, "As per our in-house capabilities, we feel that 2036-37 is a very realistic time frame for the first one to be inducted and maybe a couple of years for the second one." Well, one would really have to wait and see where the great Indian submarine game is finally headed to. For ThePrint, this is Snehesh Alex Philip. Do subscribe to our Print's YouTube channel for more such videos.